Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the House of Dreams. Fantastical worlds, mythic beasts, and wondrous tales. Set your imagination free. We are a TTRPG actual play creative collective led by queer, BIPOC, and marginalized folks. I am Okami. I will be your guide. Today, we present Chapter 2 of A Season's Oath, a Wanderhome actual play series of hope, exploration, and deep magic. A Season's Oath will lean deep into themes of folklore punk. It's a West Marches, hexcrawl, and OSR inspired journey with a core cast of travelers, joined by guest travelers who weave in and out of the journey, all of them seeking to understand a magic bestowed upon them by the venerable and forgotten gods of flame, form, dark, and wind. A journey that will take them to many forgotten and sacred places all over Haeth. The series will showcase the full rules of Wanderhome by Possum Creek Games, including seasons, holidays, guest playbooks and natures, and J Dragon's Patreon homebrew magic rules. For this second chapter, we're raising funds for Project Hope for LA wildfire relief. To donate to the cause, you'll see a Tiltify link in the chat, or you can use the QR code in the overlay. Please donate if you can. We're also having some fun incentives to add color and wonder to our journey. For $5, you can gift a token to our travelers that they can use or save. For $15, we'll introduce a new kith. A kith that has been named but not yet encountered by our travelers will be immediately brought into the next scene. If all of the named kith for an area have already been, then all of us as a group will make up a new one and bring them into the scene. For $25, you can either gift our travelers a relic, which is a special kind of kith that is an inanimate object that confers a supernatural trait onto one of our travelers as if they themselves were a kith. Each relic possesses a tiny little piece of lore that comes with Haeth, and I have a special chart that I will be rolling a d12 on to determine which one that they get. A magic trait, as you know, all of them are blessed with magic, and one of our travelers will be able to either elevate the magic they already have to another tier or take the first tier of a new kind of magic. We have a donation goal of $50, and for every $50 we raise, we will awaken a folklore. And one of the three folklores of the place we're visiting will then awaken and immediately take place in the scene, or if we're in the middle of a very intimate or intense situation, the folklore will be brought into the next scene. And without further ado, let's introduce our travelers. We'll start with Jhevaunte. Introduce yourself, your name, your pronouns, the character you're playing, what kind of animal they are, their pronouns, the playbook, and then pass it off to another traveler of your choice.
Howdy, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary finies, and hellions of all walks of life. My name is Jhevaunte. Pronouns are he, him. I am playing Chuki, pronouns she, her, a black-footed cat of the veteran playbook. And let's pass it off to. I only have two folks to pass it off to. Aadi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hello, hello, people of the internet. I am Aadi MK, and I shall be playing Bhaloo, the guardian of my beautiful and wonderful ward, Luis. And yeah, I am cautious. I'm nervous. As to what will happen in this session. But yeah, let's go.
All right. And last but definitely not least, Tomas.
Hello, my name is Tomas Gimenez Rioja. I come all the way down from Argentina. My pronouns are he, him. And I am playing today Ricardo, the Axolotl with the playbook of the Fool, just running around everywhere and wreaking havoc whenever I can. So, passing it off to you again, Hector.
All right. So, as is tradition with the third episode of these series, We're going to start someplace a little different before we ask our 4 questions. We're going to remain in the Viridian Marches for one more moment. It has been some weeks in the beauty of the Viridian Marches. You've been camping, spending time, eating delicious fruit, and all getting to know one another. One evening, before you all leave and move on to the next place, reuniting with Chuki, Bhaloo, you wake up to the middle of the night. You see the edge of the pond, once again, the great Valashku. He is in silent communion with Boomy. Boomy stands there at the edge of the water, and her sari, her eyes closed, her paw extended, with her hand on Valashku's horns. They seem to be speaking without words. And then Valashku pulls back. You cannot be sure how long they have been in this communion, as you just woke up from a rather deep sleep. Everyone else in the camp is also in a deep sleep. You're the only one that has awakened. Valashku pulls back. He is very careful, despite his massive size, to not make a sound, except for perhaps a few rustling of leaves. And then Valashku takes flight. A breeze exhaling from the force of his body pushing up from the ground and wings extending. But it is as gentle as Valashku can make it. The breeze tuffles the fur and the blankets of everyone else, but it does not wake them up. What do you do?
What is Bhumi doing in this moment?
She's standing at the edge of the water, looking contemplative and concerned.
I think I would. Well, first, before anything, I'd look to see if Louise is sleeping properly.
Dead asleep. She's
Uh,
clutching on to a little poppet made of uh, forest vines and flax that Boomy has made for her. Um,
I think his paw would reach out and, gently pull the blanket up a little more. So, tuck her in, then quietly uh, walk out of the tent. Um, yeah, I think he would. I don't think he'd want to interrupt Bhumi in this moment, but he would walk up to the pond and just slowly start humming, a song that would have been close to both their hearts as he does. But he doesn't say anything. He doesn't interrupt Bhumi's moment. But he would go to the edge of the pond and then just sit down, still humming.
the humming seems to snap her out of her reverie, and she looks over to you and rather quickly makes her way to sit down next to you by the pond. She wraps her arms around her knees and she leans against you. But she's still looking at the pond, the reflection of the moon and the stars, a perfect mirror of the night sky above you.
An acorn for your thoughts, dear heart.
I am worried, my love. I am. I am not supposed to be here.
Hmm.
I feel. I felt very lost. I. I reached out to Valashku to understand why. In the other lands, in the great beyond, those of us who are at peace never choose to return.
He'd put his arm around her and pull her in closer.
I asked Valashku why. Valashku does not. She falls silent for a moment. It's as if she has something that she's afraid that if she tells you, it's going to hurt you. You've always been able to read her like a book.
My love, there is not any words that you can say that is going to take away from the gift that was given to me. But as you said, I was at peace, and so were you.
Valashku,
Are you? Are you not at peace anymore?
Valashku told me that his wishes do not have the power to bring back the dead.
The paw on her shoulder would kind of clench a little bit, but release immediately.
The child is blessed. Louise possesses a great power, one not just between the gods and the physical, but also between life and death. Lashku said that it was Louise's power that enabled him to grant that wish.
So you cut out there for me the last sentence.
She said that it was Valashku's power through Louise. Louise's power is what enabled Valashku to be able to grant that wish.
The little one is that powerful.
That is a dangerous power, my love. So many have lost from the war. She cannot be making choices like this, not tempered with wisdom.
Bhumi, it is while I was taken aback in that moment because of my happiness. There was, and he would look back to the tent to see, if Louise is still asleep, and
Yeah, you can actually like your ear has been trained to kind of hear her not snoring cuz like but like the steady breathing and you hear it.
Hmm. It was not anger that I felt at her, but frustration. When I encountered you in that the time before when I talked and I managed to introduce her to you, you seemed happy and content. I You were not asked what you wanted to do, and we ripped you from something that now defines you in some ways. And then he this whole time, like, he was kind of looking at her, uh, but he would then, like, with his arm still over her shoulder, kind of look, and, like, lean his head against hers, just looking at the lake. Tell me, my love, what is it that you feel?
I feel lost. I feel disconnected, except for when I'm with you. I feel like I do not have a home anymore, or a place. You promise me that we will find a new home. And her paw, grips yours on the shoulder. You can see her reflection in the pond, and she just looks so sad, but at the same time grateful that you are there.
The expression would be mirrored on Baloo's face, um, as he would turn to her and gently, like, cup her chin in his claws and raise it and look deep into her eyes. You know, I am at a loss for these kind of things, but if you do not feel that you are comfortable here, then that is we will find our home, but maybe that is on another journey after some time. Is this magic that has been brought about by Louise and by the Great One, is that the only thing keeping you here? Would Can you go back to the other lands by yourself?
I, I don't know, and I do not know if I want to, but I had to understand the truth, and I had to share it with you. Let us walk the road. Perhaps we will find answers there, but we must protect and teach the child. She must learn. She will continue to do things. And her voice gets very low. Like what happened to me. But she says that so quietly and with such trepidation, and holds both of your hands in her hands. And you can see the fear of what has happened, and a disappointment in herself that she would say such a thing about a child.
Bhaloo would see that and no, no, that is not a path that you have to take. This is Louise has always been special, and she has always had a deep power. It is the duty of those with power to know how to use it. If there is nothing in here in this moment of what has happened in these past weeks that you have to blame yourself for. If anything, I should have stopped it in that moment. But I was just caught in seeing you walk with me.
I love you, Bhaloo, more than anything. And that is not a
You,
mistake.
of course. And you have my heart and my soul and everything that my mind brings, as little as it may be. But you are the love of my life, and you shall always be.
And her eyes filled with tears, gives you a deep and meaningful kiss. And if this were a film, the camera would pan up from the two of you into the night sky as you see Valashku fly across the full moon. And then it fades and turns to daylight, a bright, beautiful blue sky, the moon fading away, and the camera comes down on a band of travelers making their way to the Mariposa Fairgrounds. Now I'm going to ask our 4 questions. In the time between the moment that we just shared and the time that you arrive at the Mariposa Fairgrounds, what sort of place did we just travel from?
Describe the one from last week, so I'll let someone else go with this one.
We'll go with the person that was missing from the last place. Where did they reunite with Chuki?
Chuki was more than likely waiting for them under the shade of, we'll probably say, an ash tree.
Mhm.
Kind of like the seemingly the only tree in this large, expansive field where the trail to this fairground leads up to.
May I add a group of Kith that are with Chuki?
Sure, absolutely.
All right. So, with Chuki are several individuals that Chuki reunited with. Uh, and whatever way, Jhevaunte, you feel is appropriate. But traveling with you are several old friends. One of them, your mentor, Swara, pronouns he, him. A cheetah folk ex-general, your mentor, who is still grieving those he lost in the war. He's resolute, proper, and wise. Also in your company, underneath this ash tree, is Basalt, she, her, a bush dog soldier who is empty-eyed, fought alongside Chuki in the war. She is chill, honest, and sturdy. The other person in your company is Kun, pronouns he, him, a coyote, a young orphan in his teen years. He is hurt and visible and quiet. Swara, as I said, is the mentor and firmer commander of both yourself and Basalt from the war. He respects Bhaloo for his service during the war, feeding his troops, and he regards the young Kun with fondness and has taken him under his wing. Basalt is your comrade and battle sister. Is the adopted mother of Kun, the hurt orphan she and Chuki rescued. Basalt is the devoted valet to Swara, her mentor and former commander. Kun, how he fits into all of this. He's a refugee that was rescued by Chuki and Basalt, who taught her the lesson of why she must never draw her sword again. Is now the shadow of Basalt, adopted by the empty-eyed soldier. Kun looks up to Swara and considers him a grandfather. And these people, you reunited with them, and they are with you under the ash tree when you all reunite. Is there anything else about this place where you reunite with Chuki that the other travelers want to add about what it was like? If not, we can move on to the next question. But, I always want to give everyone space to collaborate.
I would think that there could be possibly an altar, some reason why you stopped specifically there. Just in case it helps your character, Jhevaunte.
Like a memorial.
Some memorial or altar, some sort of thing that had you stopped there for a reason, apart from the ash tree. What do you think?
I think like a little, almost a makeshift shrine that's been erected for the fallen soldiers.
Yeah. I will add that Boomy, Mortimer, and Aaron the Heron are traveling with you.
We are collecting so many NPCs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta catch them all.
Right. Boomy, Aaron, and Mortimer have actually bonded. As they are both, closer to her age than Bhaloo actually is, because it's been a very long time. So the three of them have become interesting friends. Bhaloo, is there anything you want to add to this shrine, roadside ashwood tree shrine?
As always, what Bhaloo would do is he would have kept a dumpling, one of his prize dumplings, as an offering. And he would have, he would have, I think, he would kind of put the dumpling down and then just stand back up and just pressing his back, because dealing with a much younger wife is very problematic.
Right.
Fair enough. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Based.
So Do we feel our journey has been long? Has it felt long?
I think for Chuki it feels long. I don't know for the others. Like Chuki at this very moment, seeing everyone coming up, there's a very look of just weary, like, oh
Why are there
no.
so many?
Yeah.
So many people.
Yeah.
Is there somewhere we hope to go?
It has been far too quiet recently. Maybe somewhere with a little more life, and not just from
To distract
nature.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Not just from nature, but from people.
And finally, silently, in our heads, where is my home?
Mm,
You all come upon the outskirts of a place that is very familiar to Ricardo, the Mariposa Fairgrounds, home of Samael and Ricardo, a massive self-sustaining festival grounds where folks come for festivals and often remain and call it home. Very similar to how in the real world people would come to Mardi Gras down in New Orleans, spend all their money, and have no way of getting back. It has that kind of reputation. It is a never-ending celebration that traps people in their own pursuit of entertaining themselves and others. A place Kith come to forget the past and lose themselves in revelry. Now, before we get to the natures and such, it is important to note that it is the end of Devil Days. You are arriving on the perfect day, and perhaps you're arriving on this holiday because this is the perfect place to celebrate the holiday of Kalea. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. It is based on a Celtic word, but that's what I got. Kalea is held in the last week of Devil Days, before the start of Breathe, and is an enormous carnival spectacle. The traditions of Kalea are carnival games, a costume contest, a farcical play with a raucous audience, sending gifts to friends, drinks for everyone. During Kalea, everyone can always get a token whenever you try something new and describe how it feels. Spend a token to give someone the perfect gift, compliment, or reassurance. And make a lot of noise. Now, the reason why this holiday is so perfect for the Mariposa Fairgrounds has to do with its natures. The Mariposa Fairgrounds, first and foremost, is a carnival, a place full of celebration, decadence, and excitement. It is also a labyrinth, a tangled maze used to trick, imprison, and confuse. Mind you, this is metaphorical, not literal, as is any nature in Wanderhome's prerogative to be. It is also a farm, a place where people live unremarkable lives, deeply rooted in the turning of the seasons and the work that must be done. As I said, this place is self sustaining. They grow their own food, they raise their own bug livestock, and everything you need is in the community. The aesthetics of this place are a house you once called home, rapscallions and merrymakers, masquerade accoutrement, a mysterious performance, stone walls, and tangled paths. Travelers, you are all invited to also use these moves to add color to our journey. This place may always describe the mundanity of everyday life, reveal the thin margins people live on. Ask, hey, want to help out? Give them a token if they pitch in whatever way they can. Describe the lights and the crowds. Demand attention and adoration. Ask, what will lure you deeper into the chaos? Give them a token if they follow it. Describe the vast sprawl of the maze. Disorient and confuse those attempting to travel. And give someone two options, neither of which is correct, and give them a token. Our folklores. This is where we're going to have a little bit more fun. The first folklore is the apple girl and her loving parents. The second is the girl with 1,000 masks. The third, I have decided, is something else of your own invention. My travelers,
Okay.
what is the third folklore of this place? And Ricardo / Tomas, please feel free to take point on this because you're from here.
Okay. Right. Hmm. I was kind of thinking maybe there are some pagan celebrations in which people come over to sort of create some sort of
Effigy?
construction, that effigy that represents many different things from someone's life, and then burn it all to just pass on and go to a different thing and leave those things in the past, burning to their core. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the burning effigy. All right. So, the common animal folk that live in the Mariposa Fairgrounds are frogs, mongoose, axolotls, ferrets, bovines, and hares. The small and forgotten gods of this place are floating orbs of light and colorful prayer masks. And that is where you are visiting. Ricardo,
Yes.
what does the front of the Mariposa Fairgrounds look like? What does your
front
band of travelers encounter? Other than, of course, the massive pond. That's another thing. The fairgrounds is kind of based around this large pond that has all of these stilt houses on it. And you can see axolotl folk and frog folk swimming in the water, coming up into their homes, massive lily pads that you can see people sunning themselves and having drinks on.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition to the pond that you've spoken of many, many times where you grew up, what do the front gates look like?
I would say that the front gates, this pond is like in the middle of a small forest. And before you enter that forest, there is some sort of pathway made to just get into the whole pond section where the celebration is taking place. And that whole corridor is built with a sort of archways made out by the different keys that they constructed it with branches, leaves, and lots of different colored flowers, creating some sort of passageway that seems fey-like in some way or form. So as you go to the place that you are intending to reach, where this celebration is taking place, you go through all sorts of different colors.
Bumi's eyes are wide as she's looking around. These flowers are so beautiful, my love.
Color. There is a lot of it.
So much color, Louise says. Uh, she makes Louise makes her way over to Chuki. I'm so glad that you're with us.
Chuki looks so uncomfortable in this exact moment. Just this, like, not wide-eyed, but is clenching her fists, just looking, ears constantly twitching. It is very loud.
On that statement of loud, you can hear music of celebration off in the distance. Oh, I didn't notice how loud it was. Do you not like the noise?
It's a lot of people. And I'm not used to this many people. Her ear twitches again.
Oh, Chuki, you know that rock over there? That's where we used to play with Samael some years ago. And that tree over there, he starts to point to different places, trying to recall things from his past.
This entire place is very Ricardo.
Oh, isn't that great?
Heartily agreed.
Yes. She lies.
Basalt walks up next to you and just like, it's all right, sister. There's no need to be so cautious anymore. It's a time of celebration.
Chuki, I do have the cotton from before. Would you want it for your ears? Dampen the sound a bit.
I'll be fine.
The tunnel opens up to the fairgrounds themselves. There's the pond, there is some lovely gardens, brightly colored tents, rides, construction, a massive, long, circular stone wall that just sort of surrounds the entire area. And it's just buildings and people and footpaths and beautiful like everything's lit with these glowing lights that are just sort of flowing around. It's still during the day, so there's not that many of them. And there's music and people are running around, and the air, you smell just spiced meats, cotton candy, uh, just caramel, spiced cider. Everything is just alight uh, with celebration and music.
I'd like to do a hold on.
hmm Okay.
Oh.
Uh, I think, I think maybe I would love to go back to the moment under the old ash tree
Oh,
where
yeah.
we ran into Chuki
Yeah.
and our compatriots, because as much as the general, what is his name?
Are you talking about Basalt or Swara?
Swara.
Swara. Yeah.
Yeah. As much as Swara respects Bhaloo, Bhaloo also has a deep respect for Swara as well. So
Yeah.
I think I would really like to go back to that moment where Chuki said that, she saw all of us walking up and her eyes kind of go a little wide.
Okay. Uh, we kind of flash back, we rewind for a moment.
Mhm.
Baloo, what do you say in that moment where Chuki seemed to be taken aback?
You know how it is when I see you again after a while. Come in for a hug.
She slowly gets to her feet using the sword, walks over, looks up, and then looks behind.
Swara just nods in approval.
My general.
Mm, my cook.
Uh, it has been some time, old friend,
It
but
has.
life treats us all well.
I don't know anyone.
Well, aren't you precious? I had a. I decided that it was time that we had a little reunion this Devil
Yes.
Days. Pay our respects to fallen friends.
I know Swara. Cobalt. What? Basalt. Sorry. I
Yeah.
would have known basalt also, right?
Yes, you would have known
Yeah.
Basalt. You would have fed Basalt.
Yeah. Would I have encountered the kid, the teenager?
Kun, you actually don't recognize. No. I don't think so. And if you did, you would have seen them as a child and not as a teenager.
Yeah. After the look to the side and back, he would kind of, I think, just rub his head a little bit, and well, I do not know if you remember Chuki, but hey, this is Bhumi, my wife.
And the moon bear that I described at the Chiaroscuro Hall, uh, with her beautiful sari, uh, green and gold, as opposed to the sunset red, um, is there, looking vibrant and alive, but with a look in her eyes that you have seen before and others. Uh, she seems happy, but also maybe a bit lost. Hello, I am, I am Bumi.
Chuki doing the appraising, like look up, down, back up again, back down. Looks over to, looks over to Bhaloo, looks back over to Bhaloo, looks back. Hmm. That that tracks. That makes sense.
It is hard to describe, but there was a moment of magic and reconciliation in some ways. But Luis brought her back to life with the help of a mighty legend.
It's at this point, Kun, how, with a like a pointed, almost like a, and Bumi kind of blanches uh, at like the intensity of this teenager's question. Oh, I just wished for it. I got an opportunity to meet this legendary being named Velashku, and I wished for it, and then it came true. How many people can you bring back this way?
Coon.
Yes. Young one, there are ways to go into questions. Who are you?
I'm I'm Basalt steps forward. This is Kun, my adopted son.
Basalt. This is rather. It it has been some time, hasn't it?
Yes, he's grown a lot since you last saw him. Kun, this is this is Bhaloo, the one that fed you when we brought you. I know who Bhaloo is. His eyes are. It's at that point that you recognize him because his eyes have always been haunted.
Coon is what kind of kip?
He is a coyote,
Coyote.
so like big
Mm.
ears, brownish, like brown fur,
I think he'd kind of
gray eyes.
squat down and without reservation just kind of pat Coon's head and just like, the last time I remember you, you were hanging off my finger as I was trying to feed you.
Oh, it was a very long time ago. I didn't mean to snap at your daughter.
Louise my is mine. Yes.
Oh, well, all families are different.
Complicated.
As a note, every time Kun seems to speak or address something, Chuki looks visibly wounded and like everything that is said.
Ricardo's just shaking hands with everyone he's meeting right there.
Yeah, so like
he's
so
not
like,
getting the tone at all.
Yeah, no. And here's the
I
thing: like
love it.
Swara and Basalt are refreshed by that. Like they have a firm warrior's handshake. Like they are appreciating being acknowledged. Because they don't really like what Kun is saying either. But there's this feeling that it's not their place to tell him to be quiet, which is weird because they're the adults in his life. Which Ricardo would have to ask, but I don't know if Ricardo is going to.
I was just leaving the space for you all there. I didn't want to interrupt much. I just was saying what Ricardo was doing in the meantime.
Okay, all good. But Kun says, Basalt is like, look, why don't we all leave some offerings at the shrine, set up camp, have a meal, and then continue on the road to the Mariposa Fairgrounds. Kala is coming up soon. We promised Kun that we would show him a good time. We waited here because Chuki wanted to reunite with you all.
If you wanted to have my dumplings, you could have just told me, Basalt.
I mean, I've always enjoyed your dumplings.
Yes.
So that Boomy's like looks at you. Have you been busy the past 20 years, my love?
I have. I mean, like, I think across the 2 weeks in the journey, like, she would have had a lot of dumplings. Like, but yeah, he just kind of like, does the deep belly laugh that he does and would turn to Louise and you have not seen Chuki in a while. Ask her how she's doing.
Chuki, and it kind of looks warily at Kun. How are you?
Alive, which is the best I can say in circumstances. I've missed you too, little one.
Well, Ricardo did really well protecting me and everyone on our last journey. I think you would have been really, really proud of him.
An eyebrow lifts and she looks
learned
over
from
to
you,
Ricardo.
Chuki.
She slowly turns her head to Bhaloo. I'm sorry?
He just like,
Cut it out.
And we made some new friends. This is Mortimer. Oh, hello. Mortimer is a Russian long hair, gray fur, blue eyes, dressed in like a tweed jacket and some comfortable pants. Traveling boots. This is the only practical thing that he's wearing. He's got like a leather satchel like over his on his side that has like books and trinkets and things. And then next to him is a heron who's wearing like a really nice blue doublet and comfortable travelers like fisherman's pants, like puffy, and has an exquisite lute on a hand woven like lute strap on his back. Uh, and
Oh, good, a
there,
musician.
yes,
I've been singing a lot.
I play the lute.
Oh, good.
Would you
Good.
like to hear some music?
She takes in a breath as if she's going to say otherwise, looks to the group. Perhaps on our journey, it would be nice to hear music.
They taught me how to sing. Do you want to hear me, Chuki?
Perhaps on the journey.
I
She
think-
is
yeah.
visibly like biting her inside of her
Yeah.
mouth, like
I think Bhaloo seeing this would be like, "Come, Aaron, you have been helping me as a sous chef for a while. Continue as you were. Come."
Oh, of course. And then you all leave some offerings at the shrine, share a meal, and start planning your trip to the fairgrounds to celebrate Kala. Aaron and Mortimer and Boomy are excited to perform at the festival. All of your old, war buddies are even Kun are like really excited to go and celebrate and enjoy and continue your little reunion. And maybe it was an offhanded comment during dinner, that made Ricardo realize that he would be going home.
Ricardo, I have a question for you since we're here. You're
Yes?
familiar with this place.
Uh-huh.
Please tell me. I am asking this knowing full well the consequences of me asking you anything. That there is some place here where I can have an intoxicating drink.
I don't know because I was a kid when I was there and they didn't allow me to drink those drinks, but I think that there is some people that actually do drink a lot and they do dance. And the thing is that if you do drink, you have to participate in the whole dancing aspect of it as well. And I want you to have a very good time with us, Chuki.
Will they force me to dance?
I wouldn't call it forcing, but you will be encouraged to.
Actually, if I
I
could
am-
add, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Ricardo,
Mhm.
as you're just kind of describing about this place where people dancing, then you remember the Outlander's Rest.
Oh.
That is it's an inn uh about it's about a day's travel from the fairgrounds.
Mhm.
Run by Claude, who was the really caring innkeeper that took you and Samael in when you first left. But other than that, the other place to get drinks is at the dancing at the dance hall, which you essentially described.
I pity the fool who is going to try and ask you to dance.
Do you want to to dance? I can teach you some moves.
No.
Just no.
No.
No. I don't want to dance.
And is going to, if she's pointed to the direction of the first option, will immediately start marching that way.
You know, Chuki, by dancing you can find some happiness in life.
She stops.
Oh.
Take a token for speaking your true feelings. She stops.
Just like mid-step hears that, and it's the most scathing thing Ricardo has ever said to her without it actually be scathing. So she's like, there's just this moment of, is this what pride feels like?
I am going to ask an important question in this moment as Chuki pauses. What will lure you deeper into the chaos?
Oh, I was planning to do that when we arrived.
I think if we're talking, okay, I'm trying to figure out what would lure her into. I think if she
Danger,
smelled,
I think.
yeah, I think if she smelled something familiar, in the sense of like this smells like either food from the encampments or like gunpowder or things like that, she would follow that because it's a familiarity.
So
I think that is very wrong.
as you, well, I'm gonna spin that a little bit.
Okay.
You stop, and then because you're stopping in this moment, on the breeze is the smell of the same kind of mulled cider that you remember being passed around in celebration when the war ended.
It's not even a question. As soon as it's like sense in the nose, turns to face it and starts immediately walking that way.
All right. Take a token. And Chuki is heading right into the midst of the festival, going towards a massive painted canvas tent. Bhaloo, what colors are this canvas tent painted with?
It is a riot of every hue of the red end of the spectrum of color. And there are like these little sequin crystals that are tied in the different ends, and all of it has gold, kind of faded gold thread that does kind of like embroider all of it.
When you arrive at this tent, it's the front of it is open, right? It's not closed, and it is just rows and rows of long tables, people singing, big, huge, like tankards, wooden tankards, and just the smell of the cider. But also, there's like apple cakes, apple bread, candied apple slices, the spiced cider, as you see this kind of faded sign that says the candied apple. And it is like a bar and grill where everything on the menu is apple related or apple flavored in some way. And you see just barrels and barrels of taps and people going in and like just chink, there's like a chalk with all of these different like variations of like apple hard cider that are being served at this place. What do you do?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I think like he would kind of so the others, including Bhumi and Mortimer and Aaron, are they're kind of looking around at the fair, right?
Yeah, they're trying to find a corner where they can start busking.
Yeah, I
because
think.
Boomy wants to dance.
Mhm.
And one of the ways that her and Aaron have kind of bonded is the fact that Aaron has been providing accompaniment for her dancing.
Mhm, mhm. I think I'd turn to Louise and be like, why don't you help them? You were doing an amazing job with those little shells on the ground and adding the
Uh-huh.
base.
Mm-hmm.
Stay with
Yeah,
them.
I
Don't run
will.
off.
No, I won't.
All right.
Come, come with Mama Boomy. Perhaps I will show you some dances. Oh, I would love that. And she takes her hand, and Mortimer is like, "Don't worry, I'll look after them. I'll make sure that they are safe, and we'll meet back up at the Apple Place in a couple hours."
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. And they all head off to go find a corner to busk and perform.
I think, he would have one kind of like, there's a soft smile on his face as he sees all of them going off. But then he would turn to Chuki and Basalt and the general and kind of smile. Now this brings back memories.
Tuara says, "Well, why don't we all see if these young ones," and he points at Kuhn and Ricardo, can handle, you know, keep up with us.
Oh,
Can keep up with us. Come on.
Are we going to drink?
Chuki
yes.
nods.
This is
Now,
the
I will have to
beauty.
say that the House of Dreams does not condone nor endorse giving alcoholic beverages to minors. However, we are
Hey.
in a fantasy setting, and both Kun and Ricardo are 18. And
Yeah, in most places of Latin
and in
America, you can
most
drink at that
places,
age.
yes, and in Europe and in Haeth, 18-year-olds, as much as there is any kind of law, are able to drink alcohol.
A thing that Bhaloo would know, and that Basalt would know, and that everyone that has been with Chuki in the war would know, is Chuki does not handle alcohol well.
Oh no.
Uh, 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 uh.
But she loves it
Oh.
so much.
Yes, this is the thing. She adores cider, especially hard cider.
Yeah.
She is
Oh, is it
not a
because she's
she's
so
not
tiny?
she's small. So it goes to her head very fast.
Okay.
However, she is going through 2 tankards. Just she has 2 in hand, cider in both. Finds a table, sits, and immediately just chugging down the first one.
Tiny cat
Yeah.
drinking
Swara
big ale.
comes back with a giant pitcher of water and slams it in front of Chuki.
She's still like head leaning back, not really looking.
If you're going to drink along with us, make sure you drink one of these, pointing at a full water pitcher for every 2 of those.
Headless.
And let us first have some food. Food in the belly paves the way for the alcohol to go better.
She takes the second tankard that she made, downs that as well, slams it down, and then takes the water and just now like a cat just lapping at it.
And as Bhaloo makes their way over to the food stand to get some food, I think that's going to be a great place for us to take our first break.
Mhm.
And when we come back, we will describe the shenanigans that our group gets up to at the Candied Apple.
Okay.
Apple fritters and apple cider. Let's go.
Yes.
Oh.
We'll be back in 10 minutes. And we're back, everyone. We are at the Candied Apple in the Mariposa Fairgrounds. And I have an incredibly important question to ask Bhaloo.
Mhm.
What delicious apple related foods do you acquire to bring back to the
Ooh.
table?
Okay. So first of all, I think he's used to carrying lots of plates in his arms. He has that super weighter ability of like three plates, on one arm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
I've done
there
that.
would be there'd be two plates of just piled with apple fritters, and the second plates, two of each. So two plates of apple fritters, plates of just apple pie that has molasses of apples kind of on top, and the third dish, hmm, I think they would be the legendary candied apples, but he would have added his own little thing of sprinkling cinnamon on top of them.
Oh, that
Oh,
sounds tasty.
okay. So you come back with these three like big trays, and like right before you head off, just because I think it would be cute. The young sun bear woman behind the counter looks at you and says, "Oh, you're so good at that. I know that you're here with your friends, but we have a lot of big orders. You wanna help out?"
I Let me get on that, young lady. I shall drink with my friends, and I shall come right back.
Thank you so much. And then you take the three trays and head over.
Yeah, and Baloo drinks. He does not have an issue. He is the most calm drunk ever. Yeah.
When the food gets brought back, it smells fantastic. There's plenty of it for all of you. Everyone, with the exception of Kuhn, who's just sort of staring at his drink, unsure. Everyone else, Basalt and Swara, raise their tankards and say, "Hey!" Like when you come back with the food. Um, Chuki, Ricardo, how do you respond when you see these big plates of food being brought over to your table?
Ricardo has a bit of nostalgia coming up with all of the different things that used to be there every day
Mm-hmm.
appear now in front of his new friends and like family, and having everyone be very happy around this whole aspect seems to make him very happy in this regard. He's like standing on the bench he was sitting at because he can't reach properly the table,
Mm-hmm.
and grabbing the mug and just going, "Hey!"
How
Order
about
up, order up.
the salt is like, "Oh yes, apple fritters. I haven't had these in years." And you're just like,
Chuki is two tankards of hard apple cider in like immediately. And like I said, doesn't handle drinks well, so those just straight to the dome. Her head has like been lulled back, and as soon as she sees like the apple pie placed, it's just her whole body just goes, and she just snatches one of the pies and just drags it towards herself.
Do the pupils go wide?
Yeah, it's the most kind of like there's no
Hunting
uh,
mode.
there's no daintiness and there's no like reserved motion that she normally has. She just like pulls a slice. It's
this
like
is like Basalt and Shuki just like devouring like two aggressive warrior women, like just feasting. And Swara is a little smoother. Uh, and reaches over and snatches one, and also is just just eating these. Uh, they are enjoying it. These three soldiers, like Suarez is not as good as the ones you used to make Bhaloo, but these are quite choice.
I added a little bit of cinnamon, my general, as I know that is a spice that you like.
Yes. Oh.
And then I will turn very sternly to the two young ones and Ricardo, Kuhn, eat first
Moment.
and then drink.
Oh,
You look at Ricardo, and he put an entire apple inside his mouth, and the head shaft deformed in a way that it fills the whole apple because of the way that get there.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
So we have just received a donation for a relic. So let me grab my D12. This is going to be the first relic of the campaign.
Yeah, thank you very much, whoever it was.
Thank you
for
so much for donating. We
the
really,
donation.
really appreciate it. Let's see here. There we go. There's these beautiful D12 that I got from Chessex. Oldie but a goodie, right? Good old Chessex. We're not sponsored,
Nice.
but
We could be.
We could be one day. Chessex, sponsor us. But I love this one. I picked this one because it's kind of icy and pretty,
Nice.
and a little bit of trans pride going on here with these colors. So here we go, and we got a 7. All right.
Ooh,
And
what's
on a
that?
7,
A relic.
the relic that we are going to have come in. Oh, Valor Heart. Valor Heart is a golden torque with an ornate dragon motif. The head's eyes are small, polished fire opals. It confers the traits feral and passionate. And how this comes into the story is very simple. Swara turns to Chuki. So I've been going on some, you should say, treasure hunting adventures. Looking through old ruins, finding lost temples, leaving offerings to small forgotten gods that got left behind because of the war. I've always seen you as more than just my student. Kind of regard you as a daughter I never had. And for the holiday, I wanted to gift you something special. And he goes into his bag and he pulls out a wrapped in silk, what looks to be a piece of jewelry. Happy Clara, and hands it to you.
She gently takes it, and it's very clear, like from her eyes, that she's trying to hold back some emotion and just sort of bows like her whole body. Thank you.
It's very old, and I found it in an old shrine in honor to the dragons that once flew the skies of this world. And I don't know, I just felt like it was meant for you.
Bows her head again, rises, and is going to place it against her cloak in a way that she's like pinned it.
Mm-hmm.
As
opposed to wearing it around her neck, like
yes,
she's supposed to.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
It's her habit of like not wanting to have too many things for people to grab onto, essentially.
When you pin it onto your cloak, it fills you with this warmth. It almost takes something that's at your core and magnifies it. And for the sake of the audience, I'm going to share with you what the traits feral and passionate give you. Pulling up my Wanderhome book right quickly. So typically, traits are only for Kith, but as long as you're wearing this, you get them as well. So feral is a supernatural trait, and it unlocks it's a physical trait that's supernatural. A feral Kith rejects traditional society and embraces monstrosity. They are often fearsome insects, hungry gods, and kids raised by the wilderness itself, among others. Now, you get to choose 1 to 2 of these things you can now always do. Call out to the wild and hear it respond. Ask the question, what's stopping you? Show all your teeth and bite. If someone doesn't want to get bit, they're going to need to spend a token.
The perfect character to have this.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's going to get 2 more tankards.
Okay.
And is going to sit back down. Having already downed the first one before she's seated herself, takes a seemingly annoyed chug of the water, and then downs the other tankard, slams it onto the table, just lets out this head slowly rolls down, looks over to Ricardo.
Should they be terrified?
And Ricardo, probably for the first time in your life, you see Chuki actually smiling. Not the measured, like, biting her inner cheek smile, but this, like, goofy, not fully in control of how she's reacting smile.
Mm-hmm. You want to take some time deciding which of those 3 moves that you want to unlock?
I will take some time to figure out which of the 3 to unlock.
Excellent. Now, the other trait that you have while you're wearing this is passionate. A passionate Kith is full of intense and explosive emotions. There are often mail carriers, riders, and flaunters, among others. You can unlock up to 2 of these. These are your choices. Explain why this matters to you. Say exactly what's on your mind right now. Lose your temper and damage something important.
Say exactly what's on your mind right now and lose your temper.
Yeah, I was imagining those were the ones.
Okay.
I'm going to spend one of those right now.
Okay.
As she's just looks to Ricardo, that same like smile on her face, like it looks like she's trying to set her hand on the table, but just flops. You're a lucky brat, you know that.
They tell me that, yeah. I've never drank some of this. How is it that you're supposed to do it? Do you have to drink some water in between?
Swara says that's the wise thing that you should do.
Pacing yourself, Ricardo. That is always a good thing.
I didn't see
Looking-
Chuki
looking-
pacing.
Looking meaningfully at Chuki.
That's because Basalt says that's because my sister doesn't like being told what to do unless it was on a battlefield.
Oh, okay.
That's why I became company squad leader and you didn't, she says, looking directly at Basalt.
Ooh, take a token for speaking your true feelings on a matter.
Ooh, there is shade being thrown.
Quite a bit of shade. It's good to see this side of you again. I only ever get to see it on holidays.
Because
It feels-
it's the only time people provide me drinks.
well,
And Ricardo will just go and chug it. He doesn't understand that his whole face is being splatted by the liquid from the cider. And he's trying to do his best to drink it.
go ahead and hold on a second. Nope.
So fun fact, axolotls absorb liquid through their skin. So even if it's
Yes.
flashing onto you, it
Exactly.
just soaks in.
Yeah.
That's why I did it.
Yeah. Just like every drop just gets absorbed. Not a single makes it on the ground.
Yeah.
Eventually, Kun overcomes his hesitation once he sees you drink, Ricardo, and then he starts to drink as well. We're gonna fast forward not a long time, but a little time, where Swara and Basalt and Chuki start playing a game of dominoes, or have set up a game of dominoes, while Bhaloo is carrying big, giant, massive trays, helping the young lady who is, manning the food booth. Oh, hold on one second, folks. I'm being called by my pops. We just take a 5-minute break, Mr. Producer. And we have returned. So, there is drinking, there is eating. At this point, Chuki is playing dominoes with their fellow veterans. The young ones are still at the table, and Bhaloo is helping to bring massive amounts of trays to all of the busy tables that are also drinking and eating, as a favor to the very harried young sun bear lady behind the counter. Ricardo.
Mm-hmm.
Kun looks over at you and is like, so you've been traveling with Chuki? Did
I want to ask, how much has the alcohol hit me?
as much as you like.
Okay.
Did they help you too?
Yeah, well, why? Yeah.
I'm alive because
I am alive, yeah, as well.
Chuki and Basalt found me in my old village, and I've essentially I've been with Basalt, the whole time, and I'm really grateful to them. I probably would have starved to death in that burnt out village. I was one of the few people left alive. It was a whole thing.
Oh, did your parents die?
Yeah. I don't really remember much about them.
Why?
I don't know. I try to block it out
I
mostly.
actually came over here, but I don't want to see my folk either.
Why wouldn't you want to see your parents if they're still alive?
Because he kind of burps and tries to keep it to himself. Um, I, I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable here at times, and I think that I should be going. And I wanted to get out, and Samael had me get over there, and then he has his head fall to the table for a second there, and start to get back.
System restored.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this place is great. Everyone's dancing and singing and eating great food, and it isn't all burnt down and destroyed like what happened to my home.
Your name was Kun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a hero?
No.
Are your friends heroes?
Yeah.
You know, people.
Salt's amazing. The Salt and Chuki saved my life. They're the greatest heroes.
We don't need any further heroes in this world. The sages have been telling me that, and they should go away.
Well, I mean, those sages are dumb. They don't understand that if we don't have heroes to protect us, the villains will kill us all.
But we are at peace now.
Are we? You think that's gonna last forever? You're a fool. And he
He freezes, stays
downs
like that. Ice lost.
Downs another drink. Would you like to interrupt? Do you have something that you want Bhaloo to say?
No. I pictured Ricardo doing the axolotl T-pose, like, in that moment.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, and Coon called him a fool.
T-pose.
But I kind of like that. I like that you believe. Did nothing bad happen to you during the war? I mean, obviously not. Your parents are alive.
I think my grandma died because of it. I am not sure. She just disappeared. And no one tells me what happened. And I wanted to know, but no one keeps telling me what happened. And I really liked my grandma. And she just grabs another tankard and goes in.
You know what? We should confront your parents.
Why?
We're both men now. We've seen 18 summers.
I am a
Go
man.
and demand answers.
I don't know if I'm a man. But I can try.
Oh, you're right. That was rude of me. I shouldn't have assumed your gender. We're adults now. We've seen 18 summers. We should be able to get answers. Yeah. You're local. Let's go to your parents' house. We'll come back and meet these old farts later.
Yeah. And he punches Chuki by the side as he's playing with the others. I am leaving because I am an adult.
Yeah, we're adults. Let's go. Suarez like, this is going to go well.
Chuki sets one of her dominoes down.
Assault's like, can I trust my son with your son?
No, she's not my son.
Oh, he isn't?
No.
Why do you act like his mother?
I have to act like everyone's mother. Other than Bhaloo.
Yeah, who by the way sees these two young bucks getting off and punching Chuki? Like, I immediately go with it. And where do you think you are going? Hmm?
Chuki's
Oh.
not my mama, she's my family, and he goes for a hug.
All right, so all right.
We give you a token for expressing your true feelings on a subject.
As you go for the hug and you say that, Chuki is going to grab your arm and lift you and just bring you onto the table. Just not like almost like a judo throw, but just for the first like. And as she just holds you there, holding your arm, she's going to look down to you, look to Kun, and then look to Basalt. Just a very genuine look in her eyes.
Eyes wide.
I have had to be a lot of folks' mothers lately. And my dear battle sibling, I am going to ask you a very important question. And her grip on Ricardo, your arm like intensifies. Just at what point did you think it was going to be a brilliant idea to bring Kun on any measure of trip with me?
You are Akinsawara or Ricardo?
You're asking
Asking Swara.
Swara? Oh, Swara or
Yeah.
Basalt?
Basalt. It's directed to
Basalt.
Basalt.
It's
She's like
directed to
looking
Basalt.
between the two of them.
Sister, Sister, he's my son.
Kun, you're an adult now, right? That's what you said.
Yeah.
Right. She just releases hold of Ricardo. What do you think being an adult means?
It means that I've lived 18 summers.
What does being an adult mean?
Being responsible for others.
Right. Including things you didn't realize you were responsible for until they got told to you much later. Things that you have to take recompense for things that you've done.
I feel weird at the middle of the table.
Then get off the table.
Starts moving quietly.
Swara,
Moving all the domino pieces.
Swara gets up. Don't worry, I was planning on beating them in 2 moves anyway, and like helps you up.
I think Bhaloo would have, I mean, like, he would have come up behind Chuki because he has seen Chuki drunk enough times. And I think, but he would have trusted her to kind of let go eventually. But then as she's continuing to talk, like a familiar and hopefully calming paw rests on your shoulder.
It should be, she swats your hand away.
Now,
Just
this is where the Wanderhome system can come in and help.
Mhm.
Would you like to spend a token? Because if you look at your moves that you can spend a token for,
I actually will spend a token on something for
okay.
this.
All right.
And she is going to look to Bhaloo, then look to Basalt, look to Ricardo, look to Swara, and then look back to Kun, take a breath. You're an adult now. Basalt didn't tell you what happened before we found you. Basalt didn't tell you why I find it so hard to talk to you. Bhaloo doesn't tell you, looks to Ricardo, why I find your antics so grating sometimes. We had a mission during the war. But I didn't want my squad to go into what we had thought was going to be enemy territory without me scouting. She takes a shaky breath. And for a moment, for those that look at her, they can see that her eyes are focused. She is not drunk in this moment.
Sobered up.
I saw your village when it was whole, when it was beautiful. But my orders, any rebellion was to be put down in flame. I refused to let my squad have that blood on their hands, so I did it myself. Her head lolls to the side. And we found you. I'd spent hours trying to find your family. I know where their ashes are. I know where your home was. She pulls the sword off of the belt that she has and just sets it under the table. Because it was one of the first houses I'd set fire to. And every time I look at you, all I can think of is what I took from you. And every time I look at you, looking to Ricardo, all I can see is what he could have been.
Flinches.
At that moment, can I decide to spend a token?
Yes.
Ricardo will have a bit of a tear come out from his face, and I'm going to use a token to ease someone's pain, if only for a moment. And Ricardo will just go quickly towards Chuki and put himself very close to Chuki, opening their arms towards her. With a sad face, but understanding if possible.
She won't, hug, but she'll allow you to hold her.
Okay.
I think I would also like to spend a token. And I want to give something that has the potential to change someone fundamentally. As once more, a hand would, go on Chuki's shoulder, and the other hand is uh, kind of rustling Ricardo's gills, and he would turn to Chuki, to Coon, and Ricardo. 18 summers. It is not the time that leads to adulthood, young ones. One of the central pillars of understanding what it means to be an adult is that not only are you responsible for others, but you are solely responsible for yourself.
Poon is going to make a very particular move, and that is articulate a step on the path towards healing. Poon looks at Chuki and says, if you had told me this when I was that cub in the village, I probably would have hated you. But, Chuki, Basalt is my mother. What makes you think I didn't know that?
Assault is very bad at keeping secrets. Looks over to Basalt.
I understand, sister, that that was your secret. But Kun is my son, and has been for 18 years. And I'm not going to lie to him. Lying to him about this would have robbed him of the ability to forgive you, which is something I think you need desperately.
Takes a slow breath. Exhales out.
I didn't mean for all of this to go down like this, Chuki. I'm just really drunk. But, I don't hold any ill will towards you. The king of the floating mountain was really cruel. And if anything, if that hadn't have happened, I don't think you and Basalt and General Swara would have joined the rebellion. Do I wish you had joined the rebellion before my parents died? Yeah, but, like fishermen say, if wishes were fishes, the sea would be overrun.
I'm so tired.
Me too. I miss my parents every day. And I'm not being mad at you would be like being mad at a sword. You don't be mad at the sword that swung. You're mad at the rabbit wielding it. And you know that that is a direct reference to the king of the floating mountain, who is a rabbit.
Well, Chuki, it seems that though their adulthood is still in question, this one's maturity is not.
I wouldn't have thought about it any other way. Just kind of looks over to Basalt. You did a good job raising your son.
Thank you. But you know what they say. Misery loves company. My son and I are both tragic figures.
Some would call us heroes. She says that looking pointedly at Ricardo.
And Ricardo will just look at you, saying, "It's okay. You don't have to be a hero anymore. You don't need to."
Suarez,
Just hugging tighter.
I am strangely relieved by that phrase, General Suarez says.
You can just relax now. We are at peace.
You have a nice home, kid.
I don't. But I'm trying.
And with that, we are going to take another official break. And when we return, we will see how our motley of travelers moves on from this moment and celebrates the rest of the holiday.
Need some celebration.
We'll be back. And we are back for the final portion of our journey. I think that we're going to jump forward a little bit. Perhaps there was a little more drinking. Perhaps there was a little more eating. Maybe there was a brand new game of dominoes. However, we want to work it out. The moment of intensity led to a moment of quiet. And now we're later, much later in the evening, afternoon. And maybe you've sobered up a little from all of the food, or maybe and you're heading to join up with the rest of your companions. I think that Kun and Basalt and Swara are going to look for lodgings for the evening, with a promise to meet up with you all later that night for some, actual after sundown late night shenanigans. And it's just the three of you heading towards the main square to meet up with Boomy and Heron, Mortimer and Louise, who are, as you walk up, are surrounded by a raucous crowd of people who are applauding and cheering as Heron is playing a really fast staccato, upbeat instrumental song, and he's kind of singing like a chant of some kind. He's playing his lute like one would play a sitar. Like he's changed the tuning of it so that it kind of adds a more Jhevaunte, you're phasing out.
You're blurring.
You're blurring.
That happens. I can't really fix just my camera.
No worries. Just making sure, over a moment you were looking like RuPaul in season 1 of Drag Race, and I just wanted to the Vaseline filter. There we go. No, you're walking up the crowd. So Aaron is changed up the lute's tuning so it sounds more like a sitar, and it's his fingers are moving, and Boomy is spinning around, moving her hands, her bracelets, echoing and jingling. She has not wrist, but ankle bells on that are also like accompanying to the sound of the lute. You see Mortimer has a little bodhran, a hand drum that he's pulled out of his bag that he's adding percussion, and you see Louise with like a little hat bag, skipping around, taking trinkets and coins from various people as they are utterly entranced by Boomy, who is a swirl of colorful silks and movement. And people are just having a ball, just enjoying this moment of fleeting beauty and joy in her dance. And when she finishes, oh, yes.
While the dance is going, Bhaloo is just looking at her in rapture, and but he is going to quickly pack his pipe, light it up, and as he kind of blows, he'll take a massive toke, and then as he blows the smoke out, he is going. I'm going to spend a token
Mhm.
to use Cloud One,
Ooh.
and essentially, Bhumi is surrounded by spectral smoke support dancers that are
Yes.
going in beat with her, and the jewel of the show is being faceted even more.
Mhm.
Yes. People are absolutely excited, cheering. Drinks are being passed around in the crowd. Like it is a moment of pure elation. And when she finishes, the crowd explodes in cheering and applause. Oh, it's amazing. It was so good. Everyone is just absolutely excited. Louise is like, trinkets, tips, tips, trinkets, trinkets, tips. And everyone's putting various like coins and jewels and
Flowers.
baubles and things, in, compensation for the performance. And soon, within moments, you're Boomy and Heron and Mortimer and Louise see the three of you and make their way over in excitement. Oh my gosh, it's been such a great day, everyone. Like, I got to learn some dances from Mama Boomy. I got all of these trinkets for her. I got to try cotton candy for the first time. And when we took a break, we went over on the Ferris wheel. And she points to like this beautiful like Ferris wheel that's been kind of constructed near the where the pond is, um, and it was so awesome.
I see you are doing a perfectly good job of being the ticket collector.
Mhm.
Mm,
It was really exciting. Did you all have fun with uh Chuki's friends?
yes, we did.
Where did where did they go? Oh, I'm sure that they went to go get lodgings just like we need to secure, Boomy says as she puts her hands affectionately on Louise's shoulders.
I, Loki, I'm side eyeing Chuki and seeing how she's responding to this.
Anytime that she hears like reference to say like Chuki's friends or the like, she gets very sheepish.
Hmm. What about the Mama Bhumi part?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
The Mama Boomy part, there's a little like a twinge of something. Just as
Hmm. Hmm. Well, uh, Bhumi is correct. This is a wonderful place, and it seems to be Revelry is the middle name of everyone here.
Wanderer's like, I most certainly agree. This is like the most that I have ever played my Bodrin, and I am ready to take a break. Aaron's like, we've been taking breaks every hour on the hour. I mean, it's not enough. That's not enough. Mortimer, the academic, not ready for a life as a busking performer. Well,
Would you, Ricardo, maybe know of a place to rest for the evening here?
There is an inn in here as well. And I assume you had told us about an inn. Was it the one that we were just in?
No, that was the candied apple.
Right.
I told you about
There was an inn as well.
It was the out. Hold on. It's Claude's Inn.
Check.
And it's the
Claude's Inn,
Outlander's Rest, I
Outlander's
believe.
Rest. Yes, that's what it says here.
Yeah. And as you mention the Outlander's Rest, you hear a voice call out, "Is that my tadpole?
Oh.
Ricardo
freezes for a moment.
Mi amor!" And this incredibly fit, athletic axolotl woman that has a water lily in her amongst her tentacles, hair. She has a water lily tucked in the side. She's wearing a leotard that is a blue leotard and a beautiful sarong skirt that has bold, colorful pattern, oranges, yellows, accented by cobalt blue, and shapes zoomorphic shapes of various different amphibious animals, axolotls, frogs, in a repeating pattern. And she just sort of rushes through the crowd, and she looks a lot like Ricardo. My tadpole! As Ricardo, you see your mother, Rosa, just emerge from the crowd, her eyes wide and filled with an expression of joy.
Mama!
And she just rushes over and just wraps her arms around you, maybe a little too tight.
Yeah.
You came back.
I came back. Yes.
And she lets you go, and she just starts planting kisses on your face, on your forehead, on your cheek, and then puts her forehead to your forehead. So good to see you, my love.
Ricardo will return the hug tightly for a second, just stay there for a bit and release. I have been doing some traveling around. I know that you have done so when you were younger, but I wanted to explore on my own as well.
No, it's okay. You said...
Sorry for not telling you I was leaving. I never intended to do that.
We knew when they asked Samael to leave that... Well, I knew that you didn't want to leave him alone.
Yes, that was it. I didn't want to help Samael because they wanted to leave, and I would be sad if they got lost, so I had to go. And yeah, and I have been going and traveling with my friends here, and Ricardo will just point towards Chuki and Bhaloo.
Hola, hola, hello, hello. Who's your? These are your friends?
These
Hello,
are
I'm
Chuki
Rosa. Chuki,
and Bhaloo.
Bhaloo.
Mm-hmm. And
Chuki's
here
giving.
as well is I forgot the name of the your wife's. Sorry,
Yeah.
of
Boomy.
Boomy, and Louise.
Hi. And these are our
And
friends, Mortimer and Aaron. Wow, you have so many friends.
we are a bunch.
Do you have anywhere to stay? Do you want them? They can stay at the house. We have plenty of room.
And Ricardo just look back at their friends and say, "You can come to our house."
Oh, most certainly, Madam Rosa. That would
Yes,
be
come,
most
come.
appreciated.
Follow me. I was just walking around with my, enjoying the festival. My husband is at home. Your papa is going to be so happy to see you and meet your friends.
It's
Chuki
been so
will
long.
Chuki will walk over to stand beside Ricardo and whisper to Ricardo questioningly, "Do you want to stay?"
I think I must.
Not what I asked. You're an adult. You can make
Am
the
I?
decision.
Did you say that, Hector, or was it my mother?
That was Hector. That was Hector.
Okay.
It was like that. What does Chuki say in response to Ricardo
Be
asking
way.
that question?
Other way then. But with Ricardo just wants a Chuki.
No.
Oh.
Ricardo just said, "Am I?" in response to Chuki saying,
Mhm.
"You're an adult." Does
You
Chuki say anything?
You've lived 18 summers. You've traveled with me and Bhaloo. Despite your antics, which can be grating, you're an adult. You do make good decisions. Do you want to stay at your house?
No. Yes. I need to see my family again.
Do you want to stay there for the night?
Okay.
If you don't want to, I'm going to see if I can find an inn. I don't feel comfortable in other people's homes. And if you'd like, I'll find you a room. Okay?
Thank you.
Of course. She gives you a little like pat on the top of the head and is going to look to Bhaloo and give just like a little half salute, just this has been a discussion kind of thing.
And
He
yeah.
doesn't like staying in other people's homes if she could help it, and she will start to just wander the streets to find an inn.
Okay. We will come back to you in a moment. In the meanwhile,
I think, given what has occurred, uh, and given that there is suddenly one less person to mother right now,
Again.
yeah, I think Bhaloo would go with Chuki.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
because there is a mother that is going to be taking her child to their home, and I think the vibe that she got from Rosa was good, and Bhumi is also there. But in that moment, I think, uh, given their friendship, I don't think Bhaloo would want Chuki to be alone at that point.
Okay. So you, Ricardo,
Mhm.
arrive at your family home. What does it look like? I mentioned the big stilt houses over the water.
Yeah.
But give us some details
I would
as to
say
what this
that
house is like. It's obviously very big if your mother is offering to put everyone up.
it is quite big, and there are some spaces that are under the water of the pond, and some others that are near the surface. So it's like a shared space between the two areas. There's a bit of some leaves that have been constructed so that they act as a ceiling on the top. Some rocks that are heated by the sun on occasion so that they can stay in there and keep themselves warm,
Mhm.
as well as some beautiful flowers that his mother likes to have grow near the house everywhere around. Um, but apart from that, the house is pretty open. It isn't that closed up, so that pretty much most people can see what's going on inside of it.
Right, right. Um,
And
uh, when you arrive home, your
mhm.
father uh, is, sitting at. You guys have like a low table with like cushions around it because
I
you
could say
like
so.
to
Yeah,
sit, so it's
there's
like comfortable.
the cushions
He's
are made
there.
of leaves as well.
Yeah, he's there finishing wrapping up a gift. Uh, and he looks up and he's like, "Mijo, you're home. ¿Cómo estás?
Ah,
How are you?" He like gets up and he's wearing like fisherman's pants and a
mhm.
really nice like linen tunic that's kind of, really loose on him. And he looks like Ricardo but older, a little more distinguished. And he, pads over and you can see like hanging on like hooks costumes. You can see like an acrobat's costume and a water dancer's costume, and there's like a trapeze in the middle of this place. Like it's all very like you can tell that this is the home of like fishermen that are also entertainers. That's kind of the vibe of this home.
Definitely.
Everything is just very warm and inviting, uh, and he walks up and he gives you the biggest hug, and he's like, "Are you coming home to stay?"
I some stuff that I have to talk with my friends. I will let you know as soon as I know. But in the meantime, I wanted to stay here with you too and spend some time together.
Oh, Mijo, I'm so happy you're here. Everyone, please welcome to my home. I have drinks. We have food. Let's celebrate Clara. And he welcomes everyone that you brought with you into the house.
Mhm.
Everyone gets drinks.
I
There's
make the proper introducements,
Yeah, you
introducing
make introductions,
introductions.
and after about 30 minutes or so of everyone getting comfortable, your mother like arranging various hammocks and pulling out futons, hanging up hammocks so people have
Hmm.
places to sleep later in the night.
Definitely.
Your parents kind of take you, aside, just the three of you, to a very special place near the pond where you all can talk. And your father, Carlos, says, "I really missed you, my son. I was so worried that we had done something wrong when you left."
No, it's okay. I felt that I wanted to help Samael, and I wanted to meet a bit of the world as well. And I don't know, I just felt a need to head out and adventure a bit. I hope it's okay for you too. It's not that I don't love you. It's just that I feel a bit pressed at times. I lost maybe like I don't fully know who I am, and I have to explore a bit of all of this instead of just being cornered into. I don't mean corner as in like not being able to. Just that I need to better understand who I am at times, and I felt that by going with Samael, I may be able to do something like that.
Okay. What is Samael? Did they not want to come back?
I feel Samael is having some explorations of their own as well, and we will surely meet sometime. I miss Samael. They are great friends.
Well, your mother and I, we don't approve of what happened to Samael. You know that, right?
What exactly? Should I be asking that?
Well, they felt that Samael was an omen of death. That their sadness and
They
their
are not.
songs.
They've never been. Samael is a great person. And I want to help them out as well. So as my friends, we are battling our own things, I guess.
You have such a big heart, my son. And it is a time of peace, so I cannot think of any better time for you to be away.
How long will it last?
Your mother cuts your father off and takes your hand and says, "It might not be forever, but I believe time.
Sorry, it got off there. I couldn't understand you properly.
I believe that it is going to last this time. I believe that
I
your
hope so.
grandchildren will know peace." You have something on your heart that you want to know?
I was curious because you never really told me what happened to Grandma, my Abu, and I was curious about that. You never told me before. I am an adult now, so I deserve to know.
Un momento. One moment. Wait here.
Oh, it was Sector. I thought it was the mother.
Kallum, break.
Hey, we're back. Real life sometimes, you know? Your mother, Rosa, asks about what's on your heart. And you ask about your grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
She looks at the sky as at this point the sun has set and fireworks start playing. People, soldiers, came to our home. You were very young. Which is probably why you don't remember. She stood up to them, told them that they had no place here. This was a place of celebration, a place of peace. And she yelled at them with every inch of her soul, calling
Really good at yelling.
calling to the gods to protect this place. And they left. And then she collapsed. And she fell asleep. Tell her the truth. Tell him the truth, Rosa.
She died.
Her heart. My mother was so strong. And she used the last of her strength to tell those soldiers to leave. And then her heart came out. I'm so sorry. I wanted you to have a life of nothing but joy. I never wanted the war to touch you. I'm sorry, Ricardo.
It's all right. I have seen many people suffer similar stuff, even worse. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't have to ask you that.
I feel like not telling you the truth drove you away. Carlos wanted me to tell you, but
It wasn't that. I sometimes feel everyone treats me like I'm a fool and doesn't need to understand what the world is about. But I'm not that anymore. I'm trying not to be. I can understand what happens, what war is, what heroes are for and what aren't for anymore. I feel this journey helped me understand a lot about that as well. And my friends, they don't lie to me, you know? They don't hide stuff from me. So when Samael wanted me to leave here, I'm sorry, it wasn't Samael that wanted me to leave. It was the other way around, actually. I encouraged Samael to leave because I wanted to know what was on the other side. I know happiness is not just what it is all about, and revelry. But now, at times I feel I want to go back to still be a fool and not know enough. Maybe you were right all along. He will just proceed to go and hug both their parents.
And they hug you and they hold you close in that moment. The false joy that has hovered over your family for years finally let go. You are all able to cry and grieve. And you feel that your Abu is watching over you. The three of you. A smile on her face. All of you have some moments before it is time to head to sleep and lay down for the night. To go to Chuki and Bhaloo. How does your evening end up? Do you reunite with your friends? Do you stay at the inn? Tell me, my players, how are you all settling down for the night?
I think, given what he knows and given how he feels, uh, yeah, Baloo would just kind of be like, ambling slowly by Chuki, quiet and just quietly humming some old encampment song and just walking beside, like, just being there.
It's nice that you got her back. You talked so much about her. I was wondering if she was everything that you said she was. Louise is lucky. She'll, get to have a genuine mom. So,
I think at that he would like stop whistling and just look down sharply to you. A genuine mother. Hmm. He would immediately get down, squatting, look you in the eye. Are you trying to make me angry?
I'm trying to be realistic about our situation.
Chuki, you have been with Louise and me for a long time, since before she could remember taking her first steps. You were there at the other end when she was taking them. You were the one who caught her. And Louise, our child, has great power, as was told by Velashku the Great. And from knowing her, but I I do not know how to tell her that what she did was a mistake. She was pulled from the other lands where she was content and at peace to wait for me to finish my journey so that we could start another together. But mm, she's lost. She is a miracle in more ways than just her form is capable of being. And the magic of the great Velashku is not enough to bring someone back from the dead. And he will lean forward, like, put hands on your shoulders. He told me, he told Boom that it was his magic acting through Louise that made it happen. I wept in the moment because I was taken aback by the miracle that I witnessed. But as you know, people with power should ask whether it is needed to be done before it is exercised. And as much as I am the doting father, I hesitate to bring it up to her, to Louise. I have some words to say, but in these moments, like I always have, I will trust you, Chuki, the stern one, to keep me on track.
The more things change and all of that.
Yes, my friend. Yes.
I have a feeling, my friend, that whatever comes after our journey concludes, that I will be taking my own journey. One that may take me from you and Luis. I miss my home, the savanna fields, tall yellow grass, wide open spaces, no trees, nothing around me. She grabs onto the jewel that she
Torque.
has now and just holds it a little tighter.
Torque.
Yep. I think when this is done, I would like to stop being Chuki. I think when this is done, there's a little bit of a misty eyeness that she gets. I think when all of this is done, I'd like to go back to being Matumaini.
Slow nod of acknowledgement, understanding.
Have a good night, Bhaloo. She will just do the cat thing of like head-butting your chest, and she's going to begin to head up to the room that she picked out.
So, our friends, having found connection with family both born into and found, bed down for the night.
I, well, I would call out, are you sure you want to be alone?
Yeah. Yes, I would.
I will find you in the morning.
I'll be here.
Then he would just give that same nod, like they always have, and then start walking away. And then kind of panic and remember he does not know where the fuck Ricardo's house is.
Yeah, well, eventually you will if eventually if you ask questions, people know who Ricardo is.
It's a small
I,
place.
I,
It's a
I heard I
small
heard
place.
Rosa's name.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and you will find your way back to Ricardo's family home and Boomy and Louise, and that so concludes the holiday of Claudia as you all bed down for the night. That's the end of tonight's journey. Thank you all so much for joining us. I am Okami. I have been your guide. You can find me on Blue Sky at kgokami.itch.io. Yes, you can also, that is also an itch page, or you can look at my games, but that is also my Blue Sky, where you can keep up with all my various different projects. And if you see someone posting on the House of Dreams Blue Sky, that is usually me as well. My thank you so much to the wonderful person who Sword and Key, who donated for the relic. We really appreciate it. This charity means a lot, and there are a lot of people in Los Angeles who still need help from the wildfires. And thank you so much for contributing to aiding that. And now, so let's say farewell, my players. Say who you are. Name drop the next where we can find you, the next project you're doing, and just one little piece of love for your other players that you enjoyed this session. We're gonna go ahead and we'll start with Jhevaunte.
Hi everybody. My name is Jhevaunte. I played Chuki. This was a freaking blast as always. Yeah, you know what? Trevor, much love. I love Ricardo. I love Ricardo so much. And we had a strong moment there between our characters that wasn't both antagonistic and not antagonistic.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you going along with me on that one. Jesus, stuff that I'm doing. Oh my god.
You could just name one thing if there's too many things.
So no, I have them all in my brain. Let's see. So you can catch me on Pluto's Underworld on Wednesdays, where I play D'Alessio Polka in our Sentai Sensibility game. So if you like Bridgerton and Power Rangers, hi, we're doing that. And on twitch.tv/Eclipse613, every Thursday I run a D&D game. Normally it's Set Sail, a one-piece D&D 5e adventure, of which I will be posting a casting call for a guest character for our upcoming arc on Misty Seas today. And on opposing Thursdays, I run Blood and Cinders, a Mat 19, 5.19 based D&D adventure set in the world of Samanist Domina, where I've done nothing but hurt the dad of the party for the past 3 episodes. I will also have another casting call going up for if you like spicy content and want to be involved in a spicy D&D adventure. That's going up as well at some point later today. You can catch those on my Twitter at Jhevaunte or my Blue Sky, also at Jhevaunte.
Amazing.
All right. Next, we'll go with Tomas.
Okay, well, I have been Tomas Gimenez Rioja, he, him pronouns, and you can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet with the same username at T Gimenez, the letter R, GM, from being a GM. And yeah, I am on Blue Sky. I don't use Twitter /X/ that stuff anymore, but I am in there. Instagram, Twitch, and all that stuff. You can find me anywhere. And yeah, as for projects, I am working hard on Russian Punch. TTRPG I am working with a friend of mine, Scott Bullock, and I am sharing every so often on my Blue Sky the way to enter to my Discord server, where we are making some open playtestings if you want to join. And in the future, I may have some other projects that I am working with as well, but I want to have some more stuff before I start to lay the details.
Okay.
And lastly,
No. What love would you like to share?
as for love, I absolutely love how we three had to brace with very tough situations about death, forgiveness, and just how people face in different situations with war and conflicts in general. So you are included in this, Hector. This is like a whole lot of love for you all. Amazing role playing and fantastic being able to create these sort of stories with you all.
All right. And last but not least, Aadi.
Hello, people of the internet. I am and always will be RDMK. And I played a very contemplative Bhaloo. This is a game in this session. You can find me at Noonlight Creations on Instagram and on Twitch, where every Thursday I do my own D&D homebrew campaign called The Tides of Atlantis, which is a long-form Calamity game where the players know it's a calamity, but the characters do not. And yeah, you can find me at Pantsless Tables, where I run a couple of Blades in the Dark games, and you can hopefully will keep finding me popping up on House of Dreams as well. And yeah, I mean, shit, how can I disseminate the love? I can't. I don't know. It's there. It's an umbrella, but yet there are so many facets
Right.
there as well. But I think my favorite moment of, like, just a true reaction, that whole Ricardo and parents scene was so good. I actually had to control myself when Rosa was crying to not cry with her. Um, but the other was just that amazing question by Chuki to Basalt of how did you think it was a good idea to bring your son in front of me?
So
And
good. So
Yes.
real.
so good.
Great note to end everything on. Thank you so much to Kallum for producing today. We appreciate you. You're a rock star. And a really important announcement before we leave. Crit Award nominations are coming up. Only chapter 1 qualifies, but Nano, one of our artists, has done amazing art for this chapter, along with Demios, but did pretty much all of the art for the Travelers in Chapter 1. So please nominate Nano for Best Artist for the
Let's
Crit
make it happen.
Awards. Let's make it happen. Their artwork is incredible and amazing. And with that, have a beautiful evening, and we will see you next Sunday for the finale of Chapter 2 of A Season's Oath.